it's safe to assume when they announced a grounded True Detective set on Earth Green Lantern television show, we all went, we're talking about the same Green Lanterns, right? Like, we're talking about the ones with the magic power wings that have, constructs and, like, with the hokey oath with both day by time that even so side by side. Like, and I love the oath, but let's be honest, it is a bit hokey. Whose weakness is the power yellow. We're talking about those Green Lanterns. We're talking about the space cops of the DC universe, right? We're, we're talking about those Green Lanterns, right? How are you going to ground those guys? And what? And DC's like, yep, we're talking about those, and we're like, okay, let's see how it works. And by this first episode, I'm like, look, it's one episode out of 7. All I know, episode 2 to 8 just falls apart, right? But this first episode is just really damn good. This is a damn good first episode where it's setting the groundwork of, like, yeah, there is 2 mysteries. We got the 2 murder mysteries happening. Don't want to hit spoilers. And yes, there's going to be that fun aspect of things for trying to figure out of what's going on. How is this related? How is this alien related? How how, like, what is the bigger threat? What is this and this? Like, all the magic, all the fun aspect of things of a murder mystery. But at the same time, it's all about the characters. It's all about the relationship between Hal Jordan, who's the veteran Green Lantern. He is the first human Earth Green Lantern, and he is the veteran, and he is Hal Jordan to a T, but as a little more of a veteran grizzle aspect of the more classic version of Hal. Because I think naturally to say, like, ever since probably 2006, wherever Green Lantern Rebirth happened, they kind of just made him Maverick. They kind of just like, oh yeah, like Hal Jordan's a fighter pilot, so we'll just make him like the cocky, we'll just make him into Maverick, from Top Gun, and there's a little bit of there. There's a little bit of cockiness. There's a lot of arrogance. There's a lot of, like, what happens when you are the top of the food chain, but you are in an area where nobody kind of gives a shit. Like, because Hal is like, I'm Green Lantern. I'm Green Lantern. Like, he's like not walking on a football field, but like he's just walking onto crime scenes because he's like, well, it's alien related. I think it's alien related, so I'm Green Lantern. I can do whatever I want. I can do the crazy stuff in the world just because I have a massive power ring. And the small town is like, I didn't ask who you are. I'm asking what your jurisdiction is. So it is essentially a mindset of, you don't have jurisdiction. Jurisdiction is space. As long as there's no power demons floating down to Earth, we are not good. As long as Sinestro isn't using yellow power wings to do stuff, like, unless that ain't happening, you have no right to do it. And it's just the humor of how, and yes, there's a lot of seriousness to him as well, like when the way he explains his origin story, which is the classic Hal Jordan origin story with Alan Stewart, and Alan Stewart dying, and him saying, "You are my possessor. You are being chosen by the wing," and all that. So you have the story of Hal Jordan. Maybe we'll see it as well. Maybe it's a little bit like you hear it and then later you see it. In the future episode, him being very serious when at the end of the episode where a character mocks the oath, mocks the Green Lantern, and he's like, this is his identity. So him mocking, it's like, I love the idea that the first time we hear the Green Lantern oath in the TV, in this show, isn't out this big epicness of it. It isn't just like, as normally,
beware my power, Green Lantern's life.
Hearing it kind of getting mocked, it kind of gives a sense of, there's a little bit of silliness, and we are going to embrace the silliness of it. and but it shows how it's part of Hal's identity. It's part of it, and it's just like Hal as a character. It's just really well put together. John in this is layered. I mean, he is the trainee. He is, he just got chosen by the Guardians a couple months ago. Hal was training him, or was meant to be training him, and he's just trying to convince Hal, can you move the clock faster? Can you just here's my wing, like can you show me how to fly? Can you at least show me how to fly, for God's sakes, right? And so there's that level of frustration towards it. But I'm like, this is Jon Stewart. There's that militariness because he has a background in the military. Definitely from the first 5 minutes of the episode, kind of gives you a sense of what his upbringing was. There's a part of me because of it. There's a part of me of thinking John even has some doubt of even becoming a Green Lantern. It's a situation of more evolved. Your parent want you. Is it a version of stage parents where you are going to run the family business. You are going to do this. You are going to become a superstar. And his military father is like, you are going to become a Green Lantern. You are going to be chosen. Will be a Green Lantern. And it's like trying to make your father proud kind of thing. And if John and Polly at the time, and by Polly by the end of this episode, because we know he's going to be in the next Superman movie. So clearly there's going to be a part where John is going to be like, I'm not doing it because I need to be a Green Lantern, is because I want to be a Green Lantern. As much as we are all this is a dark, witty Green Lantern show, there's humor in this. There's humor with the constructs. There's humor in the constructs of how constructing $1 just so he can play a jukebox. How constructing a bottle a bottle opener to unbot some beers. John hooking up with a lady at a bar and using the Green Lantern light to burn off a cigarette after hooking up with this woman in the car. I was like, there's a level of humanness there. Before it feels like it is kind of like, let's go smaller before we go completely out there, before we do giant fists and massive, tiptoe before we go crazy constructs. Which once again probably will happen by the end of the season probably. But the murder mystery is also interesting as well. Definitely the one in 2026 and one in 2016, and both of them are quite interesting. It's also very character based as well. And knowing what we have around the corner, we're going to go and get Sinestro. I assume that we are going to get a Guardian. I think it's easy to assume that the reason that everyone looks human is probably just here's a human clone. Here's a way that we can walk around places left, right, and center without everyone freaking out there's an alien. Because the Guardians look very different than they just look like green, blue, floaty old men. That's what they look like. And we're gonna get manhunters and all that. So this episode, I was like, I'm on board. There's a lot of humor in this. And I think if you're a person who's like, where's the space? Where's my Green Lanterns? Kind of nestled to it. I think this is also an episode that kind of tells you, don't worry, we'll get there. Probably halfway through, we'll get to the space stuff. And that. So anyway, comment below, let me know your thoughts of this episode.